Dear students, let us discuss about exceptions to the law of demand. When price of a good falls, its demand contracts instead of expanding and vice versa. We have already seen that in law of demand it is stated that when price of a good falls, its demand expands and vice versa. But here, as an exception to law of demand, this states that when price of a good falls, its demand contracts instead of expanding and vice versa. Now there are some exceptions to the law of demand which are stated over here. First one is prestigious goods. Goods like expensive jewelry, car, mobile phones are an exception to the law of demand. Generally, these are very high priced goods and they are consumed only by very rich people so as to prove their status, so as to show their status. And even if there is a rise in their price, rich people may not contract their demand, instead, their demand would expand. But if there is a fall in prices of such goods, then the rich may contract their demand, thinking that a fall in price may now mean that a good is losing its prestige. Now it would be not very much useful to them in order to prove their status, and therefore they are an exception to the law of demand. Next one is extremely low price goods. Certain goods are extremely low price goods, say for example pins, stapler pins, and so on. And the overall expenditure of a person behind such goods is very small, and therefore even if their price rises, a consumer's demand for these goods may not contract. And also, if there is a fall in the prices of these goods, a consumer may not expand the demand for such goods because he or she may not need more of such goods. Next one is giffen goods, and in fact, this is one of the most important exception. Uh, there are certain goods which are also known to be inferior goods, and when price of these inferior goods falls, then a consumer may reduce the consumption of such goods and substitute these by goods of a superior quality. This observation was made by Robert Giffen, and therefore these goods are also named after Robert Giffen. Generally, these are those goods which are purchased by low income group. Say for example, a person who is having low income purchases jowar, but when the price of jowar falls very low, therefore the real income of the consumer now tends to increase because the purchasing power of consumer now increase. So the consumer now will reduce the consumption of jowar and would purchase more of wheat, which is a superior good. Last one is special preferences of people. Many times people are accustomed or they are habitual to using certain kind of goods, and as a result, even if there is a rise in price of such goods, individual may not contract the demand for such goods. Say, for example, maybe a particular brand of toothpaste or shoes or so on. A person who is habitual to using Colgate. So, even if there is a increase in price of Colgate toothpaste, so a person would not reduce the demand for Colgate. He will buy that same brand of toothpaste now because he is accustomed or he is habitual to using that particular brand of toothpaste. Thank you, students.